People are disassociating out of concern, out of fear, out of all kinds of reasons, but they are coming to the sort of end of their rope, many of them, and are sort of disassociating and taking little tiny avenues to disengaging, not only from society, but from their own lives. And people have got to start recognizing that that is just what's going on in the moment, and that it will pass. And the important thing, especially for people like this woman, is they must move the body more. So everybody has got to start moving, because in this sense of dissociation and in this sense of disengagement from one's life, one tends to sort of freeze and just sort of sit and do nothing and just sort of stare out the window and be in despair and discouraged. And the opposite has got to take place in order to pull out of it. So it's a bit of a, it's a contradiction. Because it is very, very important, more so now than before all of this started. And it's not just the election, it is all the various things in attendance of the election, all of the feelings of frustration and helplessness that people feel around the way their lives are going, around the fact they don't feel as if they have any control over anything anymore. And the way to begin getting all of that back is to move the body. The body requires not necessarily formal exercise, although that's not a bad idea, but to move, to sway, to twist, to turn, to dance, to skip a little, to just take a stroll in the garden, to be outside and breathe the fresh air. All of these things will help to put things back together. It's rather like people's lives are like a jigsaw puzzle, and the pieces have kind of disconnected from each other and are kind of free-floating around the atmosphere, and one needs to grab those pieces and put them back together. And the way to do that is to move the body. It seems a little counterintuitive, as many in your society would say. However, it is the absolute perfect remedy to getting one's life into a sense of order and control. The idea of not having control over one's life is probably the single most devastating element in human dissolution. And so it is really, really important, more so now than ever before, that people take a moment to go outside, no matter the weather, but to go outside and stand and breathe. Breathe in the air. Breathe in a sense of everything's going to be okay. Let the watchword of your society for the immediate future be egg buck. There was an old radio program where the hosts of the program used to tell everybody, egg buck, everything's going to be okay. This is the thing that is driving society, this sense of despair and hopelessness. And it must be counteracted in order for the people to be able to step up and stand up and see what is needed and proceed to take action. It's very, very important. And because there is so much uncertainty and fear and lack of any sort of vision of how to proceed. And many people will remain floundering for a long, long time. But other people will begin to say to themselves, there's got to be a solution. Let me consider what the solution in my portion of the world, my life, my surroundings, my town, what the solution might be here, because it has to begin locally before it grows and expands into nationally and globally. And so people must begin to allow themselves to have a little bit of hope and to invite in some inspiration for proceeding action. Does that make sense to you? So it is very, very, very important that people start by moving their bodies, preferably out of doors, whenever possible. So we are going to require and request that this little dialogue that we've just had be posted and advertised so people can listen and perhaps gain some bit of encouragement from it. It is a requirement, this deep, deep request that you follow through with these recommendation to move and invite inspiration for action to be taken. Even if the action to be taken is to get together with friends and have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and a bit of something to eat and to discuss and talk and just laugh together and be at joy together, is going to uplift the environment around you sufficiently that ideas and thoughts and encouragement might begin to enter into your consciousness.